If there's one word that's often become the be-all, end-all of social media, it's algorithm. In short, it's the programmed mathematical rules and procedures used by social platforms that help determine what's popular, what you see, and what you don't see. But what if you took algorithms out of the equation? Also, what if you put monetization, or at least the ability to monetize, front and center? I'm Cody Combs, your Business Extra podcast host, and this is a special social media series of Business Extra. We're going to focus on social media startups, social platforms on the rise, as well as incumbent and dominant platforms that seem unstoppable. In this episode, we'll be speaking with Dave Kachedal, founder of Lively, a UAE-based social media platform trying to become the next big thing. Joining me now, Dave Kachedal, that's the co-founder of Lively. Dave, thanks so much for joining us on Business Extra.
Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure.
So, what is your elevator pitch, as they say, for Lively?
Well, the elevator pitch, I laugh because we didn't come up with this elevator pitch. It was actually we heard this for the first time where we won Social Platform of the Year, and the MC said to the crowd, he's like, "You know what Lively is, guys? Let me make this simple for you. It's like the OnlyFans halal." And since he said that, we're like, wow, that's good. That's our elevator pitch. No, and the reason why we like to use that comparison is just because, of course, we're a social monetization platform that does not do adult content. But of course, when you look at some of the key players in the industry, what we do is we provide a platform where coaches, creators, independent businesses and brands can come and monetize their content. So that platform revolutionized content monetization in its own way, but we're here to do it in a clean way.
And what award ceremony was that?
That was Entrepreneur Middle East.
So how did this idea come about?
Well, during the pandemic, that crazy time, my co-founder and I, we were both doing different things. My co-founder is an incredible, corporate legend, Farah Zafar, who is my co-founder and Lively CEO. And she was in Saudi. She was the right hand to MBS, building up some mandate for the PIF. And she's busy in her corporate life. I owned a supplement company, and during the pandemic, we both had this moment of realization where we saw friends and family who didn't have an online presence just completely lose their livelihood for that period of time. And then that shook a lot of people. That was a really scary moment because it was a defining moment too, because you got to realize if you don't have a digital presence as an individual or as a brand, you can be, you're vulnerable to economic conditions like we all saw right there. However, those who had a digital presence, they just took off in the pandemic, right? And so that was a real light bulb moment for us where we wanted to provide a space where anyone in the world can build digital equity and not necessarily take the trajectory of being an influencer, but can just monetize their digital presence in a variety of ways. And that's how Lively was born.
So when did you officially start, and how many users, if you're able to tell us, how many users do you have right now?
Sure. We're pre-launch. So we've done some pretty remarkable things considering we haven't even officially launched our platform. We've been testing. See, this is not my first time being a founder, and Farah's got tons of experience, and we've learned that sometimes the best way to build something is in public, even before you're ready. So you test and you validate and you change and you optimize. And that's the phase we're in right now. So we have about 10,000 users, but we're at 7,000 to 9,000 active users, which is a really good statistic for a new platform, right? So the people who are using Lively are loving Lively and they're monetizing. We're not even a pre-revenue business. We're a pre-launch business that's generating revenue. So that got us excited because we realized that we're really onto something with this.
So when I scroll through briefly, it's not unlike any of the other social platforms that people currently use. And what I mean by that is if they will get used to it relatively quickly. The interface, that is. But what I do notice,
absolutely.
Obviously, I noticed two things. I noticed right now there's a lot of health things on there, a lot of fitness things on there. And I also noticed that if you log on and create an account quickly, you'll notice as well, you can quickly, you pay to reveal certain posts.
So spot on with both. So we have attracted the wellness crew. Again, that's partially because of my background, in the health and wellness industry, but also because, coaches and consultants, it's a great example. They have great content. They're adding value with every post. They're posting great, helpful tips on well-being and longevity and nutrition and sleep tips. But in the traditional social media system, they're not making any money from this. So as soon as Lively came into existence and they found it, they started to flock to us because they realized, oh wow, all this content, all this information and education that I'm giving away for free on these other platforms. Well, I can go to Lively and I can actually monetize that, and people are more than willing to pay. So that was a really big revelation to the wellness crew, I would say.
So correct me if I'm wrong, though. You can monetize yourself on Instagram or TikTok, right? Or am I missing
No. So you can, but it's not such a direct path. Now, like for example, I don't think anyone's ever just received a check from Instagram, right? Like Instagram doesn't directly pay you, right? Now, and TikTok had a creator fund, but they actually retracted that. They don't do that anymore. Social media, they're trying to move into that direction to help their creators monetize, but ultimately, the only people that benefits is that top 1%. So yes, it will come that the top 1%, the people with millions and millions of followers are going to become incentivized on these platforms and start to earn a little bit of money. But what about the other 99% that have incredible content and huge value to add, but they haven't hit that, algorithm trajectory yet, or they don't even, aspire to. So that's where platforms like Lively have, we're really listening to we consider ourselves like the platform for the people. It's like, we hear you. You have great value to add to this digital ecosystem. You should be compensated for that. So yes, social media is trying to go the direction of monetizing creators, but the way it's set up, it will only ever be the top 1%.
So if I want to reveal one of those posts, what percentage of my money will go to that creator, and what percentage of yours? Sorry if I'm misunderstanding. I'm just trying to
No, I hear you. So are we talking about on social media or on Lively now?
lively.
Okay, so on Lively, yeah. So we have basically, Lively is free to use for everyone. So everyone in the world can come to Lively, build a profile, and have access to all of our monetization features for free. Now, if you're on our free plan, we will take 20% of whatever you sell. Now, that's for us having, we're a SaaS product, so software as a service. We provide the software to you. We provide this, this experience and this ecosystem. If you upgrade to our pro account, we're still playing around with the pricing. It's about $50 a month. Now we reduce our commission to 10%, and that's it. It's a very simple business model.
You already said you're in the very, very early stages. So is it accurate to say that there's no app yet?
So we're a web platform right now. So we are built, on cloud and web, but we've been building our app for the past several months, and it's releasing in a couple weeks. However, I full disclosure, the Apple Store is a tricky, store to navigate. And because Lively is, we're moving into the future of cryptocurrency, we're a tokenized ecosystem as well. Well, Apple really doesn't like that. So we are launching an app, but it will be limited in some of its features for the first release, and then we'll be building on top of that. So, but it is in the pipeline, absolutely.
And Apple's policies, we should point out, are changing is a strong word, but they are evolving slowly but surely every day, as many of our listeners will see in the headlines to deal with that. So that'll be interesting to watch how that all unfolds, because they are slowly but surely sort of changing, but it is taking some time.
They are. It's tough because they take 30%, and like that's full stop. They take 30%, and there's no negotiations with Apple. They give a slight break for your first year, but ultimately, like, we don't want Apple taking 30% of our creators' earnings, right? We're in discussion now to see if we can pass that 30% on to the purchaser, who in most cases are more than happy to take that on, in order to support a creator that they want to support. So we're in discussions with that. So yeah, we're hoping to be able to trailblaze in that category by saving our creators some margins.
But people can access, if they have a web browser on their smartphone, they can still access your services.
Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah.
So on your company's LinkedIn profile, you don't really mince words there. You say with Lively, you can stop worrying about big tech's algorithms, annoying ads, and exhausting yourself with uninspired short-form content. Care to expand on that? We do see a lot of companies sort of say that, we don't do the algorithm thing.
And you brought up a great point. That's a tricky system because algorithms can be beneficial, right? They can be. They can help one become discovered. They can help filter content to someone's preferences, right? So there are positive ways to use an algorithm. The problem with big tech is it's biased, and it's even politically, and there's an agenda of what they want to push. Now with Lively, we don't have algorithms per se. We have, like, you as a creator teach Lively how you want to experience Lively. What I mean by that is we allow you to select different categories. Like, okay, I come onto Lively, I want to see wellness, I want to learn about finances. I don't want to see news. Don't show me news. I want to see fill in the blank. So we will understand what you want to see, and we will push that type of content towards you. And same thing with the viewers. The viewers who come onto Lively say, "Hey, I want to see this, that, and the other." Well, then we push that content to them. But there's no algorithm per se that is like a machine learning that is going to dictate what people get to see and what people don't see. It's all up to the individual user's experience.
And Lively, is it headquartered out of the UAE?
Oh yes, homegrown in UAE.
So how are you finding that?
I mean, I love Dubai. If that was like a personal question, how do I like Dubai? I mean, it's
Personal and
my favorite city.
professional, I guess. I mean, we do. There are there's a very healthy startup culture here in the UAE and in Dubai in particular. But for social media platforms, I think you guys are among the first. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, for social monetization, I would say we definitely are the first to be doing this the way we're doing it, right? There's quite a few startups that are, considering themselves socialfi, but they're really more positioned around gaming. Lively is like, we exist to help creators or digital creators monetize online. So we're not that typical Web3 crypto gaming. We're like you said at the beginning, we're your intuitive, organic user experience that you're used to, just like any other social tech platform. But I do think Dubai really, it's the most amazing city for that entrepreneurial mindset. It is an incredible hub for creators. I mean, there are some of the most active creators in the world are here in the city. So this has become a melting pot for talent, for expressing yourself, and for, of course, monetizing. Dubai is great at that. So I think it really attracts some top tier talent and some up and coming talent who are really here to express and crush it, to be honest.
I noticed you said a few times social media platform, and you've mentioned social media several times as well. But I also noticed your company uses the phrase super app.
Yes.
Are you trying to sort of pivot away from the social media language, or is that I don't want to read in too much into it, but
No. That I mean, look, that's a great point because you're right. See, the thing is, and my co-founder and I have discussed this a lot, is social media doesn't really describe what we do, right? Like when I think of social media, I think, okay, I'm going to go scroll a feed. I'm going to see pictures of funny cats, and then I'm going to see, news, and then I'm going to see like all these different things, right? Because that's just like it's a mishmash of all this different content that people are posting. With Lively, you're really, and that's why we don't want to call it social media, and that's why we're a super media app, is because we're like a hub for quality content. So it's not just like your updates and your news, right? Like this is where creators go to upload their long form videos or to post a gig and a service. So and it's all centered around monetization. And of course, we have really interesting partnerships with fintech partners that almost make us like a bank. I mean, we are in the process of being able to issue debit cards to our creators. We're calling it Creator Card. So like we are literally handing tools for taking your digital, not only digital presence, but your digital finance into your own hands as well. So that's why we call it a super media app, because it's all different kinds of media with fintech blended in. So it almost, I mean, we like to think of it more like social e-commerce. That's where we're going. But to answer your question simply, social media isn't the best way to define what Lively is doing.
late last year, we interviewed a founder of a social platform, Vero, who seemed like they were operating in a very similar space. Uh, which leads me to my next question. What competitors do you see in this space?
Yeah, great question. I mean, there's the OG in this space, Patreon. Not sure if you know about them, but like, I'm a fan of Patreon. I love what they're doing. They've been in it since 2013. However, there's so many things that they're not doing for their creators. There's so many opportunities that they're not passing on to the creators, and we've basically picked up that slack as we saw that hole, and we've spoken with hundreds or almost thousands by now of Patreon creators, many who are on Lively now, because Patreon just simply didn't fulfill what they needed to do to build their brand and to be more discovered. So that's one major competitor. Other than that, there are some up and comers, but again, most of the up and coming competitors, and we have our eyes very close on the competitive landscape, is they're really taking a direction of more entertainment, like their social media, like they're really like more like short form TikTok, like entertain, and earned by watching, or something a little bit more gamified and playful. We're a lot more serious than that. So we do have our eyes on what's going on in the industry, because ultimately our promise is to provide the number one monetization platform in the world. Like if you're a coach, creator, or brand, you need to be on Lively. And what we say also is ultimately it's our creators that are going to build our platform and define who we are and what products and what features we have, because we're just listening to feedback, and our mission is just to create that ultimate platform. So yeah, it's an exciting space that we're in. There are competitors, but there's no one doing it the Lively way.
You said coach, creator, or brand. The word coach really sticks out there, but I assume you don't just mean athletic sporting event coach.
No, exactly. So anyone who has a service to like, consultants, coaching consultant, kind of interchangeable in some ways, but definitely not just fitness. So we have like, of course, wellness coaches, life coaches, we have business coaches, we have career coaches, finance coaches. So coaching essentially is someone who's usually passion based and has taken that trajectory themselves, got themselves to a certain position of success, and now they're saying, okay, I want to teach others how to do this too. So we love that kind of paying it forward education type of content, and yeah, people who are in that world have also gravitated towards us. So we are big on education, and coaching is a huge part of that.
And I do hate this next question because it's become so commonplace, it's almost banal, but how do you intend to scale?
We are designed to scale. That's why we've taken so long to build our tech, to be honest, which we're very happy about. My co-founder and I, yes, we're taking a long time to get to market, but we're doing it right, because we have built our infrastructure that whether we have 1,000 users tomorrow or 1 million, first of all, our software can support that. The nature of what we've built is actually highly scalable. When you think about it, is we're an open platform where any user in the world, so again, our fintech partners allow us to accept payments from literally 160 countries in the world. So there's no one who can't use Lively, and there's no one who can't monetize on Lively, which is a massive USP. So because of our software and the way we've built it, it's all custom built in-house, is we can just onboard an infinite amount of users. Our features are locked in, like they are. I mean, that is the definition of scalable, is they can be used by 1,000 or 1,000,000 or 10 million, 100 million, and and we have the capacity to just continue adding, cloud. I mean, it's going to be costly, of course, but it's just about supporting that amount of servers, which we're set up to do. We have auto scaling, so I mean, even literally to the point where if we went to sleep and got 10 million users overnight, our system would auto scale. We'd wake up with a huge bill, but we would have the user base to do it. So we're set up to scale.
Is there anything else about Lively that I'm not asking that you want people to know?
One of the most important things with Lively is I'll repeat myself a little bit, but like the platform for the people. My co-founder and I mean, this is our life. Our heart is really in this business, and we've both owned businesses before, but like with Lively, we feel like we were brought here to do this, and so we're putting together a community. And I think what we want to express is just how much it means to us to have people use Lively and generate revenue, and to start to believe in themselves that they can build something themselves that they didn't think was possible, just because they were discouraged from the typical social media system. And so we really exist to empower people to say, hey, I'm going to take a chance on myself, because I do believe that with the right tools, which we believe we provide, that I can really, follow my passion and generate a livelihood from doing that. So yeah, we're a really mission-based company, and we want to express that with our marketing that's upcoming. We've been kind of doing everything in stealth, but now we're deploying marketing. We're going to, be building massive communities here in Dubai, getting people together, and doing everything we can to make a real impact.
And how are you for funding?
I mean, we have raised our seed, which was significant for a startup. And then, being in the crypto space, like tokenized, we were able to raise another significant amount of money without dilution into our equity, which is a huge benefit to all shareholders and, of course, us as founders. So yeah, we've raised north of $8 million so far.
Dave Ketchadall, that's the co-founder of Lively. Thanks so much for joining us on Business Extra.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure.
That's it for this special social media episode of Business Extra. Thanks so much for listening. Please remember to follow us wherever you get your podcasting content so you can receive all the episodes as soon as they come out. This episode was produced by Doa Fareed and Arthur Edison. I'm your host, Cody Combs.